Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo, people. This is your counter view. We'll talk about Chelsea. Is Mauricio Pochettino fixing Chelsea now? Is he turning around? And also Man City, absolutely fantastic, brilliant performance yesterday. Away from home, destroying Copenhagen, putting their foot or just putting themselves in the quarterfinal, to be honest. Can they actually win another treble, though? Can they actually win another treble? And Arsenal, I had a very interesting discussion yesterday about Arsenal chances of winning the Champions League. A lot of people think that Arsenal have a bigger chance of winning the Champions League than the Premier League. We'll talk about that, of course. I'm joined here, of course, by Nina, of course, here. Kunle might join us. He's late, so we thought we'd start. But Nina, how are you doing? How's everything with you?
Good, Mo. Not good with Chelsea so much, but good with me. Thanks for having me on the channel again. What a better way to talk about other teams winning trebles, winning the leagues and title races, and me just here suffering in 10th. But yeah, it is what it is. That's the
100%, 100%. And I think there's only one place to start. Big up Terry in the chat, of course. Big up Terry, of course. I'm on the Football Terrace right after this, people. So make sure to tune in to the Football Terrace after this. I am there after this with Sava and Terry, and we'll talk about everything that you like and you don't like. Nina is smashing it, of course. She'll school you, Mo. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But thank you so much, Terry, for supporting, of course. Absolutely. Listen, people, I think there's only one place to start, which is Manchester City. Absolutely brilliant performance yesterday. I was watching them. It was absolutely phenomenal performance. Kevin De Bruyne, yes, they conceded a goal from a mistake, individual mistake by Edison. But Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden is absolutely smashing it. Absolutely phenomenal player, Phil Foden at Manchester City. Played on the right side, created the first goal. Brilliant performance the rest of the game. And I want to ask Nina about this, is that Man City, how good can they become? Can they actually dominate again this year? Can they win another treble this year?
Do you know what? Before you if you asked me this at the start of the season, I definitely would have told you probably, yeah. I mean, winning the league 100%. I had Man City definitely winning the league. I think no one really would have put, there was people putting Liverpool outside of the top four, people putting Man United as challengers, people putting Newcastle in top four. So it is crazy to think that, it's so close. The table is wide open at the top, but I think they absolutely can do it if they wanted to. They've absolutely got what it takes. And I don't even think we've seen the best of Man City this season. And now that Kevin De Bruyne is back, Haaland's back, that partnership is scary. And I don't even think that KDB is hit full fitness yet. He's so intelligent, but I don't think he's back to full fitness. So you're looking at a Kevin De Bruyne who's been back for how many games, already had GNA to make you scared and fear for your life, but he's not even at his best yet. So I think Man City are looking scary, and I don't think they can be underestimated. I think they're on the road for it. They can absolutely do it. So we'll see. But I think they can. I think they can.
Can I ask you a question? Listen, guys, over 100 people here, so hit that like button, people. Smash the like button. Let's get to 100 likes. If you're watching this on replay, hit that like button. I wanted to ask you a question. If Man City win another treble, where do you rank them?
Where do I rank them?
In terms of successful clubs in England.
I mean,
there will be 10 league titles. They will have 2 Champions Leagues. They already won a treble.
Insane. We were already talking about last year, no one coming close to Man City's level this year. So it's
where do you rank him historically in the biggest English clubs?
Historically?
Yes. Like if within 10 years, where do you think people will remember this Man City? It was like, oh my God, this Man City, 10 league titles, numerous FA Cups, Champions League already, a treble already. Do you think they can surpass Arsenal and Chelsea, though?
Oh, I love that you're asking me this question, Mo. You're already starting this up. But yeah, why not? If you win back-to-back trebles this season and you continue on to build next season, because I still think, what Man City have building at the moment, how much depth they have, how much better they can become, and what they're building for, a future generation. Why not? I think you can really put them high up there. But yeah, no, it's hard to see. And a lot of Man City fans will say they're not quite the same. Like, Man City isn't quite the same team. But, although they've had a few setbacks, so did the other clubs have dips in the road. But But, I truly think this is where it gets serious for Man City again, because we know what they can do. They've got winnable games. They can literally go on a run. I think they're already on 10, 11, 12 games in a row off the bounce, and they're not even playing their best football. So what's that telling you about Man City?
Listen, unless the charges, unless they be, listen, if they
I
are
forgot
found
about the
guilty,
charges, to be honest.
you're like, so listen, if they are found guilty of the charges, I think
Yeah.
it's done, it's over. Nobody's gonna
Oh,
remember
yeah.
this time. Like, this is gonna be all gone in vain. This is
No
not
one's
gonna
even
be
going to remember their good moments. I mean,
yeah. I don't think anybody, to be honest. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think anybody's gonna
they'll be
remember that they
tarnished.
won a
They'll be
treble
tarnished.
or something. Yeah, 100%. But I want to ask you another question though. Do you actually believe they cheated?
Do I believe they cheated?
Yourself, your opinion, your personal opinion. Do you believe they cheated? Do you believe they paid people under the table? Do you believe they actually, this is tainted already in your head as a Rivals fan?
I know for a fact that every club is at fault for doing some sneaky business under the table. There's just no way that any club has not done something like that. Whether Man City have, done it in big proportions, if, they are facing 115 charges, where do you find those charges? Where do you find 115 charges if they haven't cheated at all? So I certainly don't think they're innocent. Whether it's of that big of a magnitude, I can't say. I'm no financial expert either, so I can't really judge on that level, but I don't think they're innocent. I certainly don't think they're innocent.
You really don't think they are innocent? You think they
No,
built
I
this
don't think
squad by cheating? Or are you saying that they are not innocent because every club cheats?
Every club cheats. It's a fact. Every club cheats.
I don't
How
think
you
so.
cover it up, and Man City just maybe have been covering up very well.
Oh my God. Really?
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they've cheated?
I actually think they did.
Yeah.
I actually think, for example, the Mancini thing, they paid them extra money, but I'm not against what they did, actually. I'm actually not. The reason why I'm not against what...
But you would say it's fair to strip them of their titles if they are found guilty of that?
No.
You wouldn't?
No, because they actually won these titles on the pitch.
But if they cheated...
What do you mean? Okay, what do you mean you cheated, though?
But you asked the question.
I'm going to tell you, what do you mean? Like, they cheated, they paid a coach extra because... Okay, so for example, let me give you an example. They wanted Mancini, for example. Mancini wanted 8 million a year. They can't pay him officially more than 4 million. What do you want them to do? Why? What do you want? And then I'm going to give you, to be honest, when I was talking about this the other day with LB, I was saying that as simple as if they astronomically paid more than the other clubs, I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
If every club paid, for example, spent $1 billion and they spent 30 billion or 20 billion, I would say yes, you cheated. However, if they are just trying to keep up with the others, which is the numbers say that they are trying to keep up with the numbers, the net spend, the total spend they did, right? I actually think it's genuinely Man City were trying to keep up with the other people. So they did that to build their club. So what do people want them to do? Chelsea, when Abramovich came on board, there was no FFP, so he was allowed to spend to keep up with the likes of Arsenal, with the likes of Manchester United at that time. But Man City weren't allowed to because there was FFP. So what they did is that they built their team, they built their stadium, and they built their team that is now successful. And the money didn't go in vain. The money they are actually making money now. So what do people want them to do? Big up the people, of course, that joined from This is Football, from OSAB. Make sure to like the video when you walk in, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn on the notification bell. We're talking about Man City cheating, people. Surprise, surprise. Do you get my point?
I do get your
cheating.
point.
Like they found themselves in a place where they have to spend to keep up with the others. Don't you agree?
Yeah, no, I do agree. Look, even if they've cheated or if they've not cheated their whole way through the success they've had. That I do believe, there's only some measurement that you can say, okay, you've cheated to get somewhere, but you don't win a treble and you don't look as competitive on the pitch and you're not playing the style of football that you are under Pep just by cheating. So I think there's a balance here. There's two sides to it, and I guess we'll find out the truth when, it comes around to it.
100%. I believe like what Man City did at the end is they won a treble. So about their team this year, do you see any weaknesses in their team at all? The defense, for example, do you see any weaknesses in their team?
Yeah, I think they have let on silly goals at times that they haven't needed to. They've come into games where, they haven't managed the whole way through the 90 minutes. And I think that has played a part in why they have conceded as many goals as they have. You saw sort of against Palace, kind of giving up. What was that game? Was it a 2-2 draw in the end? The Palace game that they sort of let in at the very end.
2-2 draw.
Yeah, and you look at those games and you think maybe you wouldn't be in a situation right now where you are sort of in the midst of a title. Like, I truly think if they hadn't experienced that rock, if they hadn't conceded those goals, then they would be in a much better position above Arsenal and Liverpool right now. But, I guess across the three teams there, they've all done similar things. They all haven't managed their games well. But yeah, there have been weaknesses, I think. And, you saw mistakes are made. Edison is a brilliant keeper, but you even saw last night that sort of mistake that led to Copenhagen scoring against them. That plays a bad part. And at the end of the day, those mistakes can really punish you in the end. When you are in a title race so tight at the top, these are things that can separate you from truly, seeing game through. And we see how important goal difference is right now. And Man City could have been in a position where the amount of goals they can score, the amount of threat they have up front. Yeah, obviously Haaland's been out, so that's not been a contribution that they've had. But in terms of goal difference, I really think that this year it's going to come down to the most marginal.
Really? You think the title race is going to go to the wire and it might be goal difference?
Looking at it now, like, when can you remember the last year that the title race at the top was so marginal in terms of points and goal difference?
The 1 point between Liverpool and Man City.
Yeah, only then and then before, and that was two teams. Now we're talking about three.
Yeah, so, about three. I think it's the only one was Leicester, Arsenal, Spurs, and that wasn't really a title race. The other one I remember was Man City, I think Liverpool. I can't remember who was on that title race as well. But yeah, I have not seen title race that tight.
Yeah, which is why I just truly think like these are the smallest things, Maybe Liverpool fans are going to turn around and look at that Tottenham game and think at the end of the season, that is the one game that,
Do you think it's going to go down to that like at the end? So you don't see any team falling behind at all?
I do.
Which team?
Oh, that's where it's getting interesting. Well, look, this is a much more complicated question now. You truly have to look at everyone's runs. You have to look at, the competitions they're playing in. Man City were very good at tackling and juggling, Europe and the Premier League last season. Arsenal haven't experienced that on this level, at least this season now. So that's another challenge they face. You don't know how they're going to cope. They're going into the knockout games. Man City already have that one over them with, obviously the experience that they have in the Champions League following from last season. I think that's going to play a big part into it. Arsenal obviously have started to find their scoring feet again. Goals are coming from a collective of players. I do still think, though, some point down the line, a striker, not having an actual striker or not addressing it last year, is going to come down to being one of maybe Arsenal's separations from being at the very top there. But I don't know. It's hard. Then you got to look at Liverpool as well. Liverpool, arguably, they could also go on a run. They got Salah coming back straight into the squad. He's going to be ready to fire up. So I think you've got to look at the games. You got to look at the players in terms of how dangerous they can be. And yeah, but I truly do think goal difference is going to be so important this season. Man City have a game in hand. I think they're going to wreck Chelsea on Saturday, and I already think that that's going to be.
You really think it's going to be that?
I think it's going to be tight. But I do think we'll see a drop off. I don't know in who. I don't think it's going to be a three-way race until the very end.
You don't think it's not Arsenal?
I'm not going to say it's not Arsenal because that's unfair. That's unfair to say. I think it's unfair to say.
No, but you have to have an idea. Who do you think is going to fall out?
I said Look, this is not me saying it's Arsenal, but I did say I think Arsenal at some point down the line, it's going to be apparent that them not having or addressing an out and out number 9 last year is going to come into play. I just think that.
Yeah, listen, in the City team, I actually see the defense is a little bit weaker than the years before. Now John Stones is back. I think they looked absolutely all right yesterday. I'm looking at the title race and I'm looking at Arsenal and I'm looking at. I actually think that it's gonna go down to the wire. Arsenal put themselves in a very, very good position.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal can win a lot of games until they face City. If they lose that City game, and it depending what City do with Liverpool, I think it's gonna be. I think actually it's gonna be very. It's dependent. If Man City win against Liverpool, and I don't think they will win against Liverpool, I think it's gonna be Arsenal will still be in it at the end. If City win against Liverpool, which is very, I don't think it's gonna happen. I think absolutely it's gonna be. If Arsenal lose against City, they'll be 6 points behind, and I think that's be gone at that
Yeah.
time. The title race will be gone for them. But I wanted to ask you a question about Arsenal in the Champions League as well. The chances of you being supporting Chelsea, 2 times Champions League winners. What do you see? How do you see Arsenal winning the Champions? Do you actually see them winning the Champions League? Do you think their squad is good enough, their team is good enough to win the Champions League this season?
Well, you're really coming out with the tricky questions, Mo. Look,
Why?
on
You won the Champions League not being the best.
there's a difference though. We've been in Champions League every year. We know we have Champions League pedigree. It's important. It's one thing to not play well in the league and perform in Champions League, but when you are in it every single year, I think it does come into play. I think you know what you know how to play in the tournament. You know what to expect. European pedigree essentially, and I think that that's important. So I truly think no matter how good you are or how bad you are in the league, Champions League we know is different. And some will argue that it's easier to win that than the Premier League, which I agree with because it's a tournament. You know, you kind of take the game. It's knockout games. You can win it. On paper, you have to look at the teams and think if Arsenal can beat, a Real Madrid, if they can beat a Bayern Munich, then yeah, why not? But that's the questions you have to ask. Can they beat a Real Madrid and a Bayern Munich? Because again, you're talking about two teams with immense pedigree in Champions League. You're talking about playing and beating Champions League kings when you've had 6 years out of Europe. That's important.
Why?
It's really,
So why do you think Arsenal fans believe they can win the Champions League?
why I think they're hanging on to that because I think they think it's more realistic maybe than winning the Premier League. And
Really, you think it's easier for them to win the Champions League than the Premier League?
yeah, because you've got to compete with Man City and Liverpool till the very end. Whereas in Champions League, you've got to just win the knockout games in front of you. And yeah,
But hold on, but the Champions League is moments and it's experience.
it is moments. Yeah,
It's experience.
exactly.
In
It
the
is
league, there is recovery.
in the league there's recovery, but we've seen that it's difficult. It's difficult, and you've got
I
to be
think it's
competitive
harder
week
to
in,
win
week
the
out.
league than the Champions League.
You don't think it's harder to win the league than the Champions League? I think so, and that is exactly why Chelsea have won it with ease. We won it with ease in our worst, well, not our worst, but arguably a very poor season for us, where we were, Thomas
It
Tuchel.
depends on the draw. There is luck in the draw.
Yeah, exactly
Yeah,
why
there
I'm
is
saying
luck.
that it really does depend on who you play. Do you believe that Arsenal could beat a Real Madrid, for example?
No,
There
they
you go.
can't.
That's
Okay, they can. Okay, so hold on. They
Yeah.
can. They can.
They can.
But I wouldn't pick them to win against Real Madrid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you believe like on paper, like they could
Of course,
their day.
their team is strong. They have good players. They have very, very good players, right?
Yeah.
The coach won a game off. Like Mikel Arteta proved to us this season that he's actually learning to manage bigger games. Look at how he managed the game against Liverpool, all games, how he managed the game against City. So he actually showed us that he can manage big games.
Yeah.
So he can win. There is a possibility. I'm not going to say, okay, let me just put it this way. Is there a chance, for example, that Copenhagen will beat Man City? No. But if there is a 40% chance, can Arsenal fancy their chances of winning against Real Madrid? Yes. Can Arsenal even fancy their chances of winning against Man City in a two-legged tie in the Champions League? Yes. They have a chance. Would you pick them to be winners in that game? No, I wouldn't, because of the experience, because of the difference in experience. But Arsenal are in Porto. Like, for example, I'm just going to give an example. If Arsenal face Atletico Madrid tomorrow,
Hmm.
even though people would think that on paper Arsenal might look better than Atletico Madrid, right?
Yeah.
But Atletico Madrid, you go to the Wanda Metropolitana, and Chelsea have played there. It's hell. These
Hmm.
players have played numerous times in the Champions League. Simeone has reached finals of the Champions League. He knows how to manage the moments. He knows how to manage the small games, like so the small details. He knows how to manage a game at the Wanda Metropolitana. That's completely different than you facing Atletico Madrid in the league, for example. It's completely different. And that's what I'm saying. If Arsenal face Atletico Madrid tomorrow, I would think Atletico Madrid might be favorites to win that game. Don't you agree? Like,
Yeah.
experience in the Champions League for the players play massive part.
Mo, that's exactly why I was talking about that. It's hard to believe because I think it's so important. Experience in the Champions League is so important. How can you come in your first season and think about it? Think what that means. You're talking about Arsenal playing their first Champions League season since 5-6 years and winning it. Do you know how bizarre that sounds? It's
It's not
immense.
bizarre.
It is bizarre to me. It is bizarre.
I am. They believe they have good. Okay, so do you believe their team is that strong to win the Champions League?
I believe they've got a good squad, they've got a good team, but again, it doesn't come down to that because of exactly the factors that you mentioned, and I think they overweigh it. I think it's so important, experience, pedigree in European, playing against managers that, like you said, know exactly what it means, how you take your team through to the next stage, how you beat an opponent that you might not even think you can beat on paper, and making the players believe that as well.
Yeah, guys, we have 350 people here, and we're not even on 150 likes. Come on, people, like the video. It's Nina's debut on Counter Views, people. The like button is underneath the live chat. Your support is appreciated. Super chats are appreciated. Questions are appreciated. Michael, you're saying okay. Teen Say is saying no KDB, Gundogan, Mahrez. We should have been buried. She's against Arsenal. You mean? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean we should have been buried? Against who? Maybe against Arsenal. Oh, yeah, no KDB. But Gundogan and Mahrez aren't even players for City, to be honest. Michael is saying Arsenal can make the semis. I think it all depends on the draw. It took City Pep 7 years. Listen, for Arsenal in the Champions League and in the league, to be honest with you, I don't believe they have the depth to win both. However, it all depends on the draw.
Yeah.
They can avoid Man City and Real Madrid all the way, which is, I think, these are the two strongest teams in the Champions League. As for the league, I believe what Arsenal did to West Ham and to Liverpool put them in an absolutely fantastic position to win the Premier League, right? They aren't favorites. City are favorites, but they look like the underdog. Now they're working under the radar, but a lot of people still count them out from winning the league. And in my opinion, if people do that, they're just trying to count them out. They want to talk about them. Myself, Mo, I said this. I said when you lost to Fulham and we lost to, I think, West Ham, I think you lost the chance. However, winning against West Ham like this, winning against Liverpool, it looks like they're hitting form at the right time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? They are hitting form at the right time.
Absolutely.
Watching them, they are becoming entertaining again. They're becoming very direct. They're becoming a team that is reaching the goal from the shortest point. Set pieces are a big, massive to them, in my opinion. Big, massive point to them using set pieces like this. And Liverpool facing City, I think that will play a massive factor in how Arsenal will face Manchester City. Do you put them as third or second in this season, Arsenal, in the league? If you got to pick now a team, are they second favorite or third favorites?
This is tricky. You could put them at second. Why not? I mean, I don't want to discredit Arsenal's performances. I don't want to discredit the football they've been playing. We saw what they did to Liverpool. We saw what they did to West Ham. And I think, they've become a lot better at managing their games. I said that players are sort of, there's goals coming from a collective of players. Arteta's managing games better. Substitutions are making sense. So all of those factors you can't discredit. Arsenal shouldn't. And it's actually bizarre to think not a month ago, a lot of Arsenal fans wanted Arteta out again. So So the fact that they keep circling round and they keep sort of coming off, dropping off, coming up again, being in a title race, not being in a title race, saying that beating Crystal Palace is not enough to be in a title race, but then, you know, beating Liverpool and then beating West Ham shortly after losing twice to them this season, they all come into play. They are a good side. They are a good side, and you know, it's hard to say who. So that means you're putting Man City first in that case, and then you're talking about
I am putting Man City first. Yes.
yeah, and then you're talking about yeah. Well, it's hard. Look, bias aside, like I said, Arsenal are a good side, but it's hard. I don't discredit Liverpool though. I think Liverpool are going to pick up massively. I think Liverpool have a really good squad, you know, and I think for them every game's going to be like the last dance from here on. You know, they're going to be doing it for Klopp. They are in every competition as well, apart from no, they're in every competition, aren't they? Apart from
They
obviously
are.
Champions League, they're still in every single one. So they have trophies on the table there. So I'm not ruling out Liverpool either. Equally for them, you know, they have every single reason to want to do it for Klopp. Obviously, they've got a cup final next week. They've got obviously in Europa favourites for that. Very much in a title race in the FA Cup. So what's stopping Liverpool from being lethal this season? People are putting them outside top 4, outside top 5. Obviously, clawed back from a really poor season last season, but things are clicking in. They've got young players that look really talented. You know, they've had Trent out as well. They had Robbo out for a while as well, and they had players like Bradley stepping up, looking great, not taking out quality, punishing, you know, good sides as well. So what's to say that Liverpool aren't up there as well?
They are up there. I think the game.
It's hard to
I
say.
actually said that Man City going to Liverpool at home at Anfield, I think, plays a massive factor on why I still think Liverpool are closer to Man City, because Arsenal go to the Etihad.
Yeah.
Liverpool host Man City. So that's on paper, you are favorite to win that game as Liverpool. If anybody goes to Anfield, they are an inferior team, no matter who you are. City, doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
So I think that's 3 points that on paper Liverpool should win, right? And Arsenal going to the Etihad, I think Man City should win that game. If Arsenal get a result, fair to them, to be honest, fair to them. But that plays a massive factor because these two games, it's a 6 pointers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I actually think it might come down to these two games. I don't see any of the teams dropping points. I actually don't, until they face each other. I rate Arsenal now. I rate Arsenal big squad. Oh, thank you so much, Migawara. Big up Mo as always. 4K more. Come on, overtake. Thank you so much for the support, for everybody here that is supporting the channel. Really appreciate you people. I appreciate everybody that is supporting the channel with a like, with a share, with a super chat, because these keep us going. Just you liking the video makes we go to the next viewer. Just to let you know, just one like might go to the next viewer. So big up everybody that is supporting us. Big up everybody that is supporting the channel. I'm overwhelmed with all the support and all the comments I get after the videos. Some people DM me. To be honest, like, this is something that I didn't dream of being here after 3-4 months of starting the channel. So your support, of course, my fellow content creators. Nina has been here since the beginning. Absolutely fantastic. Like, people support me. I couldn't done it by myself. It's everybody here supporting me. And I want to thank everybody that is supporting me, to be honest. My fellow content creators, the people that stood by me, and the people that actually watch the channel and like the video. So I really thank everybody. Even if people disagree with me and they know themselves in the viewers. Some people just dislike my opinion genuinely, but they still watch. So thank you so much. Anyway, going back to the title race before we go on to Chelsea, which is your favorite topic, as I know, Chelsea. The last thing I wanted to say about this title race is that I'm enjoying it. I wanted to keep going until the end. But in the same times, I really want to have a clear vision, because every time I change my mind, like, I didn't see Liverpool losing to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Right? But Arsenal wiped the floor with them, like literally wiped the floor with them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure. Maybe Man City can go to Anfield and win. You know what I mean? I don't see it happening again, but I've been proven wrong plenty of time. Plenty of time this season. Now, we said Arsenal won to win against Man City. They won. We said Liverpool will go and get a result. Oh, they won. A lot of people said Arsenal might win against West Ham, even though I did. They smashed them 6-0.
Wait,
I actually
did
thought
they
3-1. No,
lose?
no, no. My predictions are documented. They're 3-1 to
Oh,
Arsenal,
okay.
to be honest. But a lot of people said that they will drop points. I don't know why though.
Because of the game against West Ham at the end of last year, because that was a completely different Arsenal
And
side.
because they lost against West Ham at home like 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah, in the cup game too. So there you go.
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of tough to predict this Arsenal team, but I think they're hitting form at the right time. I
Yeah,
actually think they're hitting the form at the right time. I think I see now a different Arsenal,
yeah.
right?
And
Than
I
the,
think
the one
actually,
that's
I think if I believe they've got less points than they did at this time last season, didn't they? Or they'd scored less
no,
goals or
of
something like
course
that.
they have way less points than last season.
And they're still, yeah, and people are still kind of
Yeah,
on the fence. So that tells you everything you need to know as well.
Mo. Okay, here's a question for you. J. Ashraf is saying, do you think Spurs are in a title race?
Gosh, not in a title race. No.
Yeah,
Straight up.
I do think they are. But yeah, thank you so much. Listen, people. Now I think I want to move to your favorite topics. Pochettino back to back. And I know people, for some reason, a lot of people enjoy the Chelsea talks and a lot of people don't. Yes, big boss, are you not banned now? Someone banned you. I don't know if you're banned or not, but I'm gonna try to see. Chelsea though, Pochettino fixing up? No?
I love the fact that I've just been paying compliments to Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, and now I have to talk
And
about
then you have to
Chelsea.
talk about Chelsea though.
We got to talk about Chelsea. Look, great, we've won 2 games, but I can be completely honest with you and tell you I don't know where our next Premier League win is coming from, and that's a fact. And it's scary to think that. I look amazing, but with Chelsea, you never know what you're getting, and I think that's a big problem. We're not playing sustainable football. We play a good first half, a good second half here and there, never a full good 90 minutes, and that's an issue. You can't be competitive in the Premier League if you're playing that way, and we're not, and that's why we are 10th. That's why we are where we are. So yeah, it's a problem. Do I think Pochettino's turned a corner? I don't think so, to be completely honest with you. Crystal Palace, regardless, was a game, no disrespect, that you should be going in and winning. Should never have been this difficult. It's unacceptable to have just one shot, not even on target in the whole 45 minutes. Bearing in mind, this was a depleted Palace side with no Eze, no Elise, no Mark Gehi at the back. And we struggled. They had so many opportunities. We were giving them opportunities. We looked, there was no really intent in our passing. And I said, a lot of people talk about playing style and a lot of people talk about system, but I see Chelsea freestyling through the season. It's as simple as that. Sometimes the tactics work. Sometimes there are no tactics, or I can't tell you what we're doing with the ball, can't tell you what we're doing off the ball. And it just seems that, maybe we'll get a goal, maybe we'll score, but we just don't look threatening and we're not playing as a collective. So I'm still worried about us. And we've got, a really
Of course you
difficult
have
run.
to. Of course you have to be worried. You're 10th. People in the chat, there's over 320 of you here. I want everybody to just type one word, right? Just one number. Where do you think Chelsea will finish this season? Just everybody spam the chat. Where do you think Chelsea will finish this season? I'm really intrigued to know, where do you think Chelsea, realistically, people, where do you think, in my opinion, well, I'm trying to look at the table. I actually think you're going to finish 9th or something.
Wow,
Genuinely
you got half of the table. That's so nice of you.
I actually think that, no, I changed my mind. I actually think West Ham are going to finish 10th.
Mm.
You're going to finish 9th, yes. Behind Brighton, actually. Maybe above. Yeah, behind Brighton. I actually think you're going to finish 9th. Genuinely. Do you think if you finish 9, no matter what the circumstances, he should get sacked? That's it. Move on for a different coach. Pochettino. Or are you one of the people that put context into it?
I do put context into it. I put context into it. Although that would be unacceptable. Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what, it's very different though. Tell me this. Does that mean, like, if we won the League Cup next week, and it finishes 9th, that's a different conversation in my opinion.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah. Because that means a bit of European football for us next season.
Because you won the cup. No, because you
Yeah, but let me tell you this: no one
Oh,
was
and you
putting
think that will give him? So that gives him time.
potentially, but look, they're not going to sack. If he wins the cup, the owners have made it crystal clear he's not going. He's not going to go. I think if we do finish bottom half of the table, then that's a different conversation because fans are just not going to have that. It's unacceptable, even though that's 3 places above where we finished last season. But yeah, it's tricky. It's really tricky because, you know, like I said, I don't see where another win is coming from. We've got obviously after Man City this weekend, after the cup final, we've got Brentford, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man United, Tottenham at the end of well, that one was postponed, so that'll be further along the line. But and they're mostly away games. I actually don't see how we win any of these
I actually
games.
think you win against Brentford. I see
Maybe.
you winning against. I don't see you winning against Newcastle, to be honest. Oh my God! Here you go, Pochettino. Igual.
Do you know what? I
Pochettino
agree
is
with
not
Gal
the
though.
issue.
I actually
Okay. I'm gonna say this. We all know that the recruitment is shit. The
Yeah,
board up there is bad. Everything is bad.
yeah,
But it's
exactly.
still Pochettino had a style of play in the beginning of the season. He abandoned that style of play. You just
Yeah,
said that lately he abandoned his style of play.
and he did because he built pre-season was built entirely around Christopher and Kunku. So when he got injured, he abandoned tactics. Carney as well. They were a big part of pre-season success. It's as simple as that. But yeah, I'm not making.
No, but you're watching Chelsea yesterday.
Yeah.
No, Monday.
Yeah.
And they absolutely dominated the ball, passed around, tried to break Palace. It's not easy to break Crystal Palace when they're all sitting back.
But they didn't really even sit back that much, Mo.
They did. It was long, but you had 80% ball position.
Yeah.
Literally 80.
I know.
So they definitely sat back.
Well, yeah. They still had 6 shots.
They had
though.
6 shots. They had more. You had 5 chances. You had like 3.
So yeah. Yeah, no, look.
So what do you want him to do then, Pochettino? He's putting the players now that you guys wanted left back. It's Chilwell left back.
For me, this is actually a crucial time now because I want to see what he's going to do now that we have Nkunku back and fit. You know, you've got Carney, who's obviously back and available now. We've got injuries obviously in the back line, but we do actually finally have 2 fully fit fullbacks. Okay, I want to see how he builds the team now. From here on is crucial because you've got obviously there's a lot of positions now in those sort of front line spaces in the number 10. There's a lot of depth. It's funny to say, but we actually do have depth. I want to see how he uses these players from here on now. And this is from now he can actually start trying to implement some sort of system without chopping and changing things every week. He can actually have some authority as a manager. So when someone like Raheem Sterling is underperforming, he gets dropped. Someone like Noni Madueke gets game time over him. I want to see something like Nkunku in the 10 as opposed to Gallagher. This is a big statement, but I actually want him to drop Gallagher for a few games and see how the team copes. Not because Gallagher's been bad. He scored 3 goals in 2 games, but if you've played as a number 10 for the majority of the season, not even the majority, the whole season, to have 3 goals and for them to come in mid-February is not good enough.
That's not his job. I think you guys just, to be honest with you, I think
him that role.
No, it's not. It's not. Okay, so I actually believe Chelsea don't have a 10.
We do have a 10. Palmer
It's not
can
a
play
10.
And Nkunku
No. I don't believe it's not that you don't have a 10 you don't have in the system you play. It's not a 10. Like Conor Gallagher isn't a 10. Okay, you have a 10. You have Nkunku can play behind. You have Cole Palmer can play, right? You have Cole Palmer. In the system, you don't have because Conor Gallagher makes the late run doesn't mean he's the 10. Do you think Pochettino?
But he's supposed to be the creator in the team because he plays further.
See, you're assuming that, but it's not true. You are assuming that because you see Enzo Caicedo, Gallagher, and you are assuming that because it's Enzo and Caicedo, you believe that the third midfielder is supposed to be the creator. Who told you this?
So how do you ever break down the low block?
No, you can absolutely create from the sides.
Create from
the sides. There's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams that play with 3 midfielders. None of them is a creative midfielder. Late runners. You can create from the sides. You can create from a deep line playmaker. AC Milan played with Gattuso, Ambrosini, and Pirlo, and the one that was creating was Pirlo and the deep line playmaker. You guys are assuming that because Conor Gallagher is the third midfielder next to Enzo and Caicedo, he's the one who's supposed to be the creator. I think that's ridiculous to think that. You think that Pochettino is that stupid. He's putting Conor Gallagher on the pitch and telling him, yes, you play through balls. Yes, you create.
So do you not think that, okay, regardless whether he's in that position or not, do you not think that he should at least be having more goal contributions?
I actually don't think so.
Really?
I actually don't.
I disagree with you, Mo.
I actually, the ones that should have more goals is Enzo Fernandez.
Enzo Fernandez.
Yes. The way he plays, Enzo Fernandez, close to the 18, making late runs in some games. Why isn't Enzo having more goals?
Because Enzo plays better when he plays deeper.
So Conor Gallagher runs around. So why do you think Conor Gallagher should get more goals? So you have two different measuring sticks here. You're having two measuring. You said in the beginning, but Pochettino plays him as a 10, so he should play more goals. Pochettino plays Enzo higher on the pitch. So why aren't you having the same criteria for Enzo? Why are you saying but Enzo plays better?
Different position.
Gallagher.
I prefer Enzo with Caicedo. I prefer Enzo with
and
Caicedo.
I'm not arguing this with you. I am not.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing this with you. I'm arguing the
all
fact that
all I said is that I want Conor Gallagher out this squad. I want to see what we can do.
Even though he's the one who scores a lot of goals.
Scores a lot of goals.
He won you the last 2 games, didn't he?
Yeah, 3 goals in 2 games. That's all he has this season. He hadn't scored in 40 games before that. So let me just drop that there for you. But anyways, moving on.
We're not moving on.
I just want to say that I want to see Christopher Nkunku used in a role as a creator. I don't think he's effective as a number 9. I don't think he's effective up front because I don't think, again, you can say that Conor Gallagher's not meant to be a creator, but he still plays behind Nkunku when he's in that role. And surely he has to at least create something for him. Nkunku's a dead man up top. Nothing. When Sterling's on the pitch, maybe the only player that can create, like you say, from wide on the wing is Palmer. That's it. That is it. That's the only player that can supply him there. I want to see Nicholas Jackson playing up top. He's actually, even though he's been playing better as a left winger in the last couple games, I want to see Nico up top. You can interchange. You can choose. Obviously, I prefer Noni Madueke over Raheem Sterling personally, so I'd play him on the left, I'd play Palmer on the right, and I would put Nkunku in behind and see what happens. I think that gives you more power to break down low blocks, it gives you more creativity, and it gives you more unpredictability. Conor Gallagher will play the safer pass more time than not. Nkunku won't, that's already a difference. So regardless whether you're arguing with me that that's not his position, that's where Nkunku will play. Or should play at least.
Behind I'll tell you the difference. I'll tell you the difference. I'll tell you the problem in that time. In that system, the problem is Enzo Fernandez isn't very good defensively. So you'll need a third midfielder to cover that area.
Yeah, and that's the plan for Lavia. That's where Lavia comes in. But
so you drop Enzo. I'm not getting what you're saying.
No, well, obviously we change the formation with when Lavia's back, and we'll try a midfielder free. That's why I think that in this system, Gallagher does play further up.
Okay, so you think you should have Lavia, Enzo, and Caicedo.
And that's when we try. Huh?
And you have Nkunku up top.
Well, in that formation, you'd have to put him there, yeah. But otherwise, you can't put everyone in the same team. Otherwise, you can't.
Do you think it's about fitting people in the team?
It's not about fitting people in the team, but it's about using the talent that you brought in and not accommodating for a single player that last summer was nearly out the door, was nothing more than a squad player at best. I don't believe in building the squad around Conor Gallagher. That's just the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I think it's wrong because I don't think Conor Gallagher is just his level.
He's not, and that's.
I don't think Conor Gallagher is. Every time I'm watching Conor Gallagher, I don't think Conor Gallagher. For me, he reminds me of McTominay at Man United. I don't think he's... If you want to reach higher levels, Conor Gallagher should not be involved as a starter. I get what you're saying. But at the current moment, I know I said that many times, but at the current moment, he has been performing all right for Chelsea. Yes, he dropped 3-4 games. But overall in the season, he has been one of your better players. He puts everything on the pitch, right or wrong, Conor Gallagher?
Yeah, right. And that's
so is that a problem for him? So why do you want to reward him with being on the bench?
It's not about rewarding, because again, Mo, let me tell you this is a really sad thing for me to say, but all the players were underperforming at the start of the season. Everyone that came in was underperforming. Conor Gallagher was the easiest for him. You know, he's been at the club. He knows the club well. I know that's a poor excuse to make, but it was different. It was easier for him to perform. Plus, he said in summer he was fighting for his life to stay at Chelsea. He wanted to prove himself, so he stays, and he wanted to prove to Poch that he deserves a place as a regular starter as opposed to a squad player like he was used under Tuchel and under Lampard last season. So I think that it instantly kind of changed it. And when obviously, like I said, he was barely anywhere near that position. He was barely anywhere near the squad in pre-season as well. But Pochettino started using him come the Premier League, and then of course because he kick-started and everyone else around him was underperforming, it wasn't hard for someone like Conor Gallagher to stand out, Mo, and he just continued that pattern. And yeah, he performed, but like I said, when so many players around you are having inconsistencies, struggling to fit into the environment, struggling to settle into Chelsea, it's not hard to look that good. It's not hard.
So, but you're assuming that. Okay, I don't want to, like, this Conor Gallagher situation is very complicated at Chelsea. The reason why, because when I'm watching Chelsea, I feel sometimes the only one that is putting everything, leaving everything on the pitch is Conor Gallagher.
Yeah. Look,
in the game you played against Wolves, if I'm not mistaken, he's the only one leaving everything on the pitch. Right? He plays for the shirt. He's the only one. He's the only one that is not there for the money.
Yeah. Although, yeah. I mean, we are going to offer him a new contract. Mo, look, this isn't me telling you that I don't want Conor. There is a place for Conor Gallagher. It's just not as someone to be built around in the squad. And I'm saying that Pochettino is accommodating for Conor Gallagher, his most like comfortable position, and sort of like fitting other players around him. I don't think that's how it should be. You know, we've brought in so much talent, we spent so much money, we can't possibly just be building around Conor Gallagher. But anyways, that's the point. But in a season where so much is wrong with Chelsea, I truly think it's unfair to just sit and talk about this one player, Conor Gallagher, who has, you know, played well, so he can hold his head high.
Because a lot of people at Chelsea, a lot of fans think that if you remove Conor Gallagher, you'll get better.
But a lot of fans still will tell you that, and a lot of fans still would have sold him in January.
Yeah, Spurs wanted him. I don't know why you didn't want him.
They still do want him.
They still want him. Tom Balayan is saying, what exactly is the style of football Poch plays? Can you tell me?
I told you, freestyle. Yeah, freestyle, because there is no, you know, there's not a consistent style of play week in, week out, and when there isn't one, and there hasn't been one for 6-7 months now, you struggle to really identify one. You know, it's different every game. It hasn't helped that he's had different players to, you know, constantly introduce into the lineup, players coming from injuries, playing players out of position. None of this has helped a manager build a system, and I just truly think he was set up to fail at the start of the season with, you know, how much recruitment did and how much, well, maybe they did wrong as well, bringing in so many young players that, you know, you never know can come good. He didn't want a lot of them as well. I think people do forget that he wasn't part of that transfer, that he wasn't part of the transfer plans that time. A lot of the decisions were already made, so, you know, he was kind of dealt this big card. That's why I think that, you know, the problems are so much more deeper rooted than any manager that comes and picks up the job from Pochettino is going to face the same problems essentially. Yeah, maybe they'll implement some. Yeah.
You think that if someone else comes in, they won't improve?
No, they could improve. They absolutely
could improve. Yeah,
they could improve. Yeah, definitely. Don't get me wrong. They could improve, but I still think that they'll be faced with players that aren't unfortunately going to come good in the future, but they will have to find space for them. That's the problem, that we're trying to find how everyone fits in the system. You know, we didn't really want to loan out a lot of the like some of the younger players that are not ready for this level at Chelsea. They're not ready for senior football. And because we did that, the manager of course is faced with the pressure of trying to play everyone. Everyone wants minutes at the end of the day. And if you haven't loaned them out, we've recalled players for some reason as well out of loans that were working out for them. So you kind of turn around and think, what are the plans here? What is the manager supposed to do? So I almost think there was too much happening. But yeah, maybe someone else does better, but I can't tell you, unfortunately, whoever asked that question.
I don't know who. I don't like this question about. I don't like the question about who's coming. No. Who should come in for the manager? Who should come in for the manager? I'm like, I don't care. It is not my job to find a new manager.
That's what everyone says.
It's not my job to find a new manager, and I really don't care. But I think Pochettino, sitting 10th in the league, should face a sack.
Fair.
And if comes the end of the season, you are 9th or 10th, as a Chelsea, after the money you spent, you should be sacked. By the way, it's very simple for me. You failed, move on to the next coach. Simple.
Yeah, let's restart for the 5th time in 2
What do you mean restart? You haven't even started. If you finish
I know,
9,
I
that means you
know, I
haven't
know.
started
But
anything,
Mo,
right?
I know, Mo, but let me bring in some personal stuff into this as well. You know, I blame
Right.
ownership a lot for this. I blame owners a lot. They are at the top for me. The hierarchy is and does take and should take the most blame for this. You know, they came in, they found loopholes. We were all super excited about the transfer strategies. Me too, so I can't complain. Really excited about the players that we brought in last year. But, you know, let's be real. They're doing something that hasn't been done before. They're doing something that, for me, the biggest problem was that they wanted to restart from a clean slate with nothing from Abramovich, not even a smidge, a crumb, or a single staff member left from that era. Start from a clean slate. Of course, if you start from a clean slate and you erase everything, a system that was working for so many years, a club that was well run, things were working, everyone knew their role within the club, and to start fresh, how can you possibly expect the success, or to just crack on from where you left off? And that is on the owners. There was nothing a single manager could have done about that. There's nothing a single fan or a player or anyone else. That was all on the owners. They could have done things very differently. If you want to build anew, if you want to make a name for yourself in this new regime, if you want to, say, okay, Abramovich is gone, Clear Lake is now here, this is what Chelsea's going to be about, you should have done things differently. Transition should have been smoother. Building a squad should have been over a few transfer windows, having left some more experienced players in the team as well, or equally brought in a little bit of experience. But it was too quick, too soon, too much changed, and it was never gonna prosper.
But listen, I wish my owners can spend as much money as that, but I don't. I don't wish to have owners that are that stupid in thinking that young players and overspending on a lot of players like this, because I think they put as have hopes as a kindergarten, to be honest. But because I think you needed more experience. I'm watching Chelsea. Sometimes there is a style of play in the beginning of the season, sometimes there is not. But I don't know what the solution is. The solution is hire a new manager, spend a lot more money. This is it. Spend more money, get more experienced players.
You say that, but apparently we can spend another 200 mil before making player profit in summer as well again.
You can or you cannot?
We can.
So good
now,
then.
Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that, but a report has come out that even before we generate revenue on player sales, we can spend 200 mil.
It's 200. Listen, and then they want people to go behind Chelsea. Oh my God, Sam, Pochettino isn't the problem, for fuck's sake. Sam, we know your opinion. You think Pochettino is the third? What do you think about this ludicrous statement that Sam had, that Pochettino is the third best manager in the league?
Third best manager in the league?
Yes.
He's obviously joking, right?
No, he did a whole video about it on his channel. Go watch it. He literally ranked managers, and Pochettino came third. Hossam said, if Klopp leaves and I'm choosing from the Premier League, I want Pep, then Pochettino.
Pep, then Pochettino.
He literally said that, and he wasn't trolling.
Wait, is that for Liverpool? As in
yes. So he said in the Premier League. He said from the Premier League managers, from not Xabi Alonso, not Ancelotti, not these guys. He said it's Klopp, Pep together, and then if I'm choosing a manager to manage my club, it will be Pochettino.
I need to watch this video.
You have to watch that video. He's advocating for Poch everywhere. Seriously. Do you think actually, where do you rank Pochettino in this league? Do you think Emery's better than him? Or Arteta?
Right now, currently.
If you're choosing a coach for your club, who do you think is better? Arteta, Emery, De Zerbi, Ten Hag? Who do you think? Name me some coaches that are Thomas Frank. Name me some coaches that are better than him.
In terms of what Emery has done with Aston Villa, and in terms of what Pochettino has done with Chelsea since coming in, you'd put Emery above him. You just have to. I mean, it's no. Ange, And I put up
Better
pretty
than
high.
Poch. You think it's better than Poch?
Again, what he's coming and done
Now,
with Tottenham.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at the manager coming in, what they've done with the team in the amount of time they've done, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Certainly more impressive because again, came in, built a system that still works with injuries, without injuries, playing style. You can say playing style, I can tell you that. Yeah. God, Mo, this is really depressing.
Here you go. He's saying Aston Villa are bottling in front of our eyes.
Yeah, they've fallen off, they've dropped off, yeah, but I mean, they were at least there was some work done there to start with, as opposed to with us.
Come on, I don't know. I think the Zerbi's better at the moment. Watching Pochettino, he's coaching Chelsea, but you cannot be 10th. Come on, you can't be 10th.
No,
you can't. Do you think? Where do you think your squad ranks? The last thing.
See, that's the thing. That's why.
Where do you think you should be at the moment? Looking at your squad at the moment, take managers out.
Take managers out and just rank.
Take managers out. Your squad, where should it be? Your team.
I certainly think this is a top 6 squad. I do.
Okay, 6 is different than 4th, than 3rd.
I don't think it's a top 4 squad.
So you think it's 5th to 6th?
Yeah, that's fair.
You think you're better than Aston Villa?
In terms of squad?
Yeah. Team, a starting 11.
Starting 11?
Guys, in the chat, where do you think Chelsea should be? 8, 6?
There's more factors. It's not just as black and white. It's just not.
It's actually, it's opinions. It's objective. It's not black and white. It's objective. Yeah.
The players, though, I don't know. It's tricky.
It's how you know, the reason why I want to ask this is, where do you rate your team?
I told you, I rate the squad and where they are together right now. Top 6, yeah. 6.
Better
they should
than
be 11th.
Spurs.
They should not be 11th.
They shouldn't be 10th. We know that because West Ham don't have players better than you, and Brighton don't have players better than you. So that's two positions.
Like, you got to look at the squad.
But I actually think that's it. That's the thing. 8th. That's it.
Yeah, you'd rank.
I think Aston Villa have a better team. Spurs have a better team. I think Man United have a better team than you, in my opinion.
What about in terms? Okay, can I ask you a question? What about what team? Like, what do you see Chelsea squad becoming? What could they be? Let's say everyone improves, everyone reaches high potential, everyone
same players, or
same
without
squad.
adding.
Without adding, same
Top
squad,
6.
same players. Top 6
max.
Okay, amazing.
I don't think so. In my opinion, Cole Palmer is very okay. So hear me out. Cole Palmer is very talented footballer, very talented.
Yeah.
But I believe there are a lot of wingers that are better than him in the league. Still, he needs to gain a lot of experience. And even I don't see Cole Palmer's ceiling, for example, as Foden's ceiling or Saka's ceiling. I just don't. I really don't. I see him as a very, very good player. I don't see him reaching this level. Enzo Fernandez is a good player.
Would you have thought differently if he stayed at Man City?
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Are you looking at the squad? Are you just looking in terms of the team?
Now I have seen him play more. He's very talented, very technical footballer.
You know, he's already in the double digits of goal contributions.
That's what it's not. See, it's not about the goals only. It's about how he plays. He's a very talented footballer, but he has a lot to learn. And by the way, against Crystal Palace in the first half, he got the ball. He tried, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's at Foden or Saka's level, to be honest. The reason why I'm saying that, I'm watching him physically, he's weaker than both of them. I think technically he's worse than Foden, and he isn't as strong as Saka. Being a strong footballer makes a big difference. Big difference.
He's still young, and also I think
he's not that young. He's 21. Saka's 22.
Okay, but but you are comparing Saka, who's been at Arsenal for a few years now.
He played 200 games. He's played 200 games.
Yeah. Is that coming into the factor then? Yes. You saying that statement?
Yes. Because that experience will play into when both of them are 25.
What about if Palmer hits Saka's numbers for the 3 seasons? How many seasons he's been?
It's not only about the numbers. It's not only about that. It's about me watching him. He's very good. I'm gonna say he's a very good footballer. He's a very good player. For example, if Saka goes to Real Madrid, if Saka goes to Real Madrid tomorrow, I believe he's gonna perform. If Cole Palmer goes to Real Madrid, I don't believe he's gonna perform.
You don't believe he's gonna perform?
No. I don't believe he's going to perform to the level that you guys think he is. But it's not far. I don't think he's going to flop. I don't
Mm.
believe he's going to perform to that level yet. Well, he has a lot of talent, though. My problem is Malo Gusto. I'm not sure. Malo Gusto is a very good footballer. Top 6. Enzo Fernandez, good player. Top 4, Matt?
I know you don't rate Enzo Fernandez, so I'm not expecting any good words
Caicedo
coming
is
out your
good.
mouth to him.
Caicedo is okay. In my opinion, I believe
Yeah.
Spurs, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Aston Villa at the moment are better than you.
Who? Say that again.
Aston Villa, Spurs, the top 5 are better than you.
Not
Man
talking-
United have Kobe Mainu. I believe Hoyland is a very good player. I don't believe.
Do you
They
think
have
Man
no one-
United? Can I ask you a question? Do you think Man
Yes.
United have performed throughout the season better than Chelsea have? The squad.
No, absolutely
Okay.
not.
Thank you. I just wanted to hear that.
100%. I said Chelsea. I would. The problem is Man United are 6, Chelsea are 10th. But you're watching the football that Man United play. And by the way, if you look at the table, no, Chelsea have better goal difference than Man United. Can you believe this?
Yeah.
And Man United are still 6th.
Yeah.
I actually believe Man United are the kings of shit housing a result this whole
Yeah.
season.
They've grinded
That's
out
why
the
they're 6th. Chelsea most likely lose games when they should lose, win games when they should win. Man United, more likely than not, they win games than they shouldn't. Like on paper, they shouldn't win, but they shit house their win. I believe though. I'm watching them. In some games, Man United have a style of play. Chelsea, for the majority of the first half of the season, you watch them, you know they're going to have position. You know they're going to try to break you from the sides with Cole Palmer and Raheem. You know what Pochettino's, you see the footprint. You know what I mean? You see the ball is going to go this way. It's going to go to Palmer. The goal is going to go to Sterling. They're going to try to isolate Sterling with a full back, try to take him to the line. Simple as that. Let me do the super chat. Akil here is saying this is what will happen. Chelsea to lose the cup final, Poch to get sacked, new manager bounce, inflated signing in the summer, rinse and repeat. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with if Poch gets sacked, new manager bounce, and then it's back to square one because problems are bigger than the manager. Anyway, I don't want to sound like a parrot, so I'm not going to rinse and repeat the same point.
I don't believe. Anyway, listen, people, this has been absolutely fantastic with Nina. Absolutely great. Check her channel, of course. It is in the description, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I didn't save the thing, so I need to write it down again.
How dare you?
Not yet. Here you go, people. Nina's channel is in the description. We have over 300 people here. You guys can go and subscribe. We have over 200 likes. So absolutely massive appreciation for everyone that is supporting the channel. Like the video, share it, people. Over 200 likes. Thank you for everybody that supported the channel with a super chat. I'm back tonight to react to the Champions League, of course, but stay here. Don't go anywhere because I'm going to be with Terry and Sava on the football terrace right after this. Please go there, type Judge Mo Raid, of course, Mo Raid. Thank you, everybody. Nina's channel in the description. I wanted to get at least 100 subscribers if you guys are more time with her.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll get her. She's just busy in the afternoon. But we'll try to make some time. But thank you, Nina. Really appreciate you. Tell the people what you're coming up, if anything coming up for you on your channel.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, if you can subscribe, I'd be much appreciated. I'm on my way to 4,000 subs, so that will be a massive help. Yeah, do mostly match reviews, do some live streams, but I'm working on some more content, so do go over and check my channel out, guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely brilliant, guys. And guys, thank you so much. Like the video before you go, and we'll see you guys later. And we're out of here, people.